All right. What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday to you guys. Hopefully audio's working and all the good stuff, video, audio. What's going on, Robert? Sorry for running a few minutes late today, everybody. And this is going to be an extremely short video. I just wanted to reach out to everybody before the holidays. I guess we've had all kinds of holidays. Before New Year's. So take this moment, if you haven't done so, please go over and subscribe to our channel. Show some awesome love, like, share, all that good stuff. Tap that notification so you get your, the notifications. All you got to do is tap the bell up in the right-hand corner of your YouTube channel. For those of you that are watching us over on Facebook, appreciate you guys as well. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube today. Not really sure where it's playing on Facebook. But we just wanted to really give a big thank you to all of you guys, because you guys have really made 2017 outstanding. It's been an awesome, amazing year, and not just business-wise. I'm very happy with the direction of where the business is going, but more importantly, I'm just so excited to see how this community just continues to grow in so many different areas, not just what we're doing here on YouTube, but it's also been growing in different areas where we've had the ability and the opportunities to go speaking to schools, possibly going to speaking to some prisons, possible, TV show ideas that are out there because of this. And this is all because of you guys. So I really just wanted to really let you guys know that it means a lot to me that you guys find value in what we do here at Federal Prison Time Consulting with RDAP Dan. The value that you guys see in what we're doing is what really makes all of this worth. Every single day that we do something, it's with the mindset of how is this going to help somebody else that might be going through a situation. That is always the way we go into it. That is always the main focus. And a lot of the times we're just kind of freestyling it, because we've come to learn that that's what most of you appreciate about this channel is its very transparent content. We're not hugely scripted. We come up with a basic idea and then we just kind of ride with that, let that fall where it's going to fall. And you guys have really made this beyond possible. Shelly and I can't thank you guys enough. We really do love every single one of you. So thank you guys for an amazing 2017. And let's just talk a little bit. Where are you guys at with this? What are you guys planning to do for the new year? Do you guys have any big plans? Are you going anywhere? Is anybody going out of town? What do we got going on? Feel free to leave comments. We're over on Facebook as well. So if you want to leave some comments over on Facebook, that would be awesome. I just couldn't ask for a better life right now, and I only see it improving day by day. And it has so much to do with just staying focused and not allowing myself to dwell on negativity, just like this band. This band that I wear that, we've talked about them. You guys can get your own bands now. We've got 3 colors, white, blue, and hot pink. And this band has created so much just grounding support for me that every time I look at it, I remember the struggle that I went through, and not so much the struggle of how hard prison was, but the mental struggle of where I was before prison, where my mindset was when I first got into prison, and how my mindset changed over the course of going through prison. You don't have to spend a lifetime in prison to realize the psychological effect that it can have on somebody as they're getting ready to go. I hope if you guys have taken anything from this channel, those of you that have been with us for a while, I hope that you realize that this is probably the worst part of it. There's really not a giant need to fear prison. It's getting prepared and what you're doing with your day-to-day and how you're conversing with your family. Is your family openly talking to you about this? Or do they feel like it's so much stress for you right now that they don't want to bring anything up to you and they're holding it all in, which could potentially create resentment? So you need to make sure that you're encouraging your family, your wife, your husband, your kids, your additional family members or friends to be able to speak openly to you so they're not carrying all of this weight by themselves. That to me is one of the most important things, and it happens all the time. We do phone calls where the husband or the wife will get the spouse on the line. It will be on like a speaker call, a speakerphone or whatever. And we start talking, and I start asking questions like, let's say you're the one going to prison. Let's say it's the husband. I start asking the husband, well, you know, or I just start maybe asking the wife while the husband's listening, you know, how is this affecting you? And what we find a lot of the times is the person going to prison will chime in, and they'll start to answer for them. And sometimes I have to say, no, let's hear what they have to say. And we put the spouse on the spot, whether it be husband or wife. We put the spouse on the spot and ask them how this is truly affecting them. Getting them to say things like, because of what my spouse did, what my husband did, or what my wife did has completely changed my life. And not necessarily for the better, or at least not yet. We all know that sometimes it's got to get way harder before it's going to get easier. Or it's got to get way worse before it's going to get better. And the best way to start getting into that realm of, okay, we're healing, is to really pull out the negativity and get it out in the open. And more times than not, when I start talking to the spouse of whoever's going to prison, they start to open up and say things that the husband or wife may not have heard before, or they weren't listening to it before because they were so caught up in their own world or their own bubble. We all know this is a trying time. No one's diminishing or saying, you know, there shouldn't be sympathy or there should be sympathy on either side of that. But what's important to realize is you're not going through it alone. Your family, your kids are right there along with it. And if you're pretending like it doesn't exist and you're just trying to go about your day like it's another day, it's not another day. Every day is a fucking whirlfall of what's next. Is the next phone call going to be my attorney? What's my pre-sentence report going to be like? What amount of time am I going to get sentenced to? Where am I going to prison? And there's so many emotions bundled up together that sometimes we find it a little bit easier to just not talk about it. And that is not healthy. That is not a healthy relationship. So the best thing that we can all do is really just challenge our thoughts and challenge our beliefs. If we think we're doing the best thing, maybe start reaching out to other people and say, what do you think I could be doing better to improve the dynamics of our relationship currently as they are? Obviously, you can't stop from what's happening with the legal system, but you can go to your wife, you can go to your husband, and you can say, look, I do understand, or maybe I don't understand how rough this really is on you. And I do want to make sure that you're not going through this by yourself, or that you feel there's already too much stress on me, so you don't need to tell me what you're really thinking. Go to your loved one and say, what can I do right now to make your life a little bit easier, or to increase the dynamics of our relationship? And by asking them and encouraging them to be open, you will see most people are going to respond positive to that, because it is the support they're looking for. Now they're realizing that maybe you can handle more than what you're handling. And it's very important. Same thing for you. If you're the spouse of somebody getting ready to go into prison, bring it to them. Say, hey, I would really like to talk to you about this. Where's your mind at right now? What are your biggest fears? What is it that you don't want to talk to me about? You know, you can't pretend like this doesn't exist. You can't pretend like it's not real, because it is real. It's very, very, very real. And the best way to overcome this is with communication, progress, action-based plan that you're willing to put in place. And that's the biggest thing that we work on with our clients, is when somebody comes in and they decide they want to hire us, we're not just going to give you some advice on what you should do. We're going to come up with a plan of things that you need to do, and it's going to be up to you whether or not you want to do them. If you want to have a positive outcome with a great pre-sentence report, you need to prepare for that. If you want amazing personal narratives and character reference letters, you've got to prepare for that. Yes, we're going to give you direction. Yes, we're going to give you a roadmap. Yes, we're going to give you samples. We're going to show you what other people have done that's been successful for them. We're going to give you some good direction to get started in. But once we get to that point, a lot of it's going to fall on your shoulders and what you're willing to do with that information. What you're willing to do to make sure you can have the ability to qualify for the residential drug addiction program, if that's going to be something that's in your future. You know, beyond getting the time off, there's so many benefits that come from that program that you really have to be willing to understand that not everybody gets in, but if you prepare properly, your chances of getting into that program increase immensely. You see, prison consultants will make statements saying only 10% of all people that try to get into RDAP qualify. That's complete bullshit. And what they're doing is they're using a little bit of fear to try to scare the hell out of you. And what they're not saying is, okay, so if you're taking 100 people and you're saying only 10 of them are going to apply, those 10 people, how prepared were they for the pre-sentence report? Are they not qualifying because there's no information in their pre-sentence report? What is it that you're going to do to help them qualify? You know, they don't want to tell you that, because if they were to tell you what they're going to do to help you qualify, you're like, oh, I don't need to hire you now, because that is not worth $7 grand or $3 grand for that small segment of sentence. There's so much more that should be going into prison consulting than just that. So when you hear a prison consultant tell you that only 10% of all applicants get approved, what they're not telling you is probably 90% of approved applicants, applicants that qualify, 90% of qualified applicants get in. And qualifying for RDAP is not rocket science. If you get started early enough and you know the steps early enough and you know the time frame, the 12 months prior to your indictment, that's really the giant window right there, is from the time that you got indicted 12 months back. Within that period of time, if there's substance abuse that you're disclosing to the pre-sentence report officer who's conducting that report, that alone will increase your chances up to 90% of getting into the program. You do not need a prison consultant just to tell you how to get into program. There's so many more aspects which most of you are finding out as you come on. Not just the letters, not just RDAP, but little, like, let's say, you know, we all know that basically 24 to 30 months can get you up to 6 months off of the program. So a 24 to 30 month sentence can get you up to 6 months. 31 to 36 can get you up to 9 months. And 37 plus months can get you up to 12 months off of the program. Now, some of the mitigating circumstances there that can change these dynamics are, let's say you were sentenced to 24 months. In your mind, great, I was sentenced to 24 months. If I qualify for RDAP, I'm going to get 6 months off. Not necessarily. If you get sentenced to 24 months, and then let's say you self-surrender, whatever, tomorrow, and the next RDAP class doesn't start for 2 or 3 months because maybe one just started last week and you've missed that class, now your window of opportunity closes, because it's not necessarily the amount of time you got sentenced to, it's how much time you had remaining when you entered into the program. So if you've got a 24-month sentence and you go sit in prison for 2, 3, 4 months, now you're getting into the program with less than 24 months to go and you no longer qualify. These are some of the things that we can help you with. So basically, just to stay on this topic, so once you get sentenced, you're going to be court ordered. They're going to tell you the day you're going to surrender. Most of the time, they're going to give you a surrender date. At that point in time of the sentencing, you're not going to know the prison you're going to. So you're not going to know which prison to call to find out about RDAP, because you're still waiting to find out where your designation is going to be. Now, you may have a recommendation from the judge. You may have a somewhat of a decent idea of where you might be going, but you just don't know for sure. So now let's say 2 or 3 weeks later, you get your paperwork in the mail, or your probation officer calls you, or you make a phone call and you find out what prison you're going to. At that point, that's when things get serious. Then we contact the prison. We find out when the next RDAP class is starting for that specific prison. And we want to make sure that they have RDAP at the prison you're going to. So let's say we know when the RDAP class is starting, but it doesn't coincide to when you're surrendering. We know that from the time that you surrender to the next class is going to be a couple of months. So then there's things that we want to do. We want to contact your attorney. We want your attorney to send a letter to the judge and to the prosecutor recommending a date change for your surrender to match up so you can get into the program and benefit from the tools, not just the time off, but benefit from the help that you might actually need from RDAP. These are things that people do not tell you. These are things that other prison consultants necessarily don't go over. These are definitely things that the average attorney is not going to go over. It's just not something they specialize in. These are things that you just don't think of, that you're not going to realize you need help with until later on. The problem is when you're trying to justify, do I need a prison consultant? Do I not need a prison consultant? Maybe you think you got it all figured out. Maybe you're a hotshot in your mind. You're like, man, I don't need anybody else's help to solve my own problems. You know, I'm always a problem solver. You're not a great problem solver, because if you were an awesome problem solver, you would not be facing a federal prison sentence. You would not be under indictment. You wouldn't be dragging your family through this. I did the same thing. I went through it. I put my family through hell. I put my children through hell. I ultimately, you know, Shelly's an adult. She made her own decisions, but I really did talk Shelly into coming to work there the best I could. And there was a part of her that did not want to go to Georgia. She wanted no part of it. She wasn't really sold on it. She didn't care about the money. She just followed me. Blind love, stupid love, whatever you want to call it, allowed Shelly to make a bad judgment call and put her in a situation along with me that sent her to prison. This is the girl that's never been in handcuffs before, got sentenced to prison. So she had to take lessons from this. And I can tell you, if I was the same person I was prior to going to prison, Shelly and I would not be together. I would still be in a denial phase. I would be blaming everybody else. I would be making myself look like the victim. And looking back at prior to going to prison, just looking back at the old me, that's who I was. I was a victim in my mind. I was always the victim because being the victim is easier than taking responsibility. It's easier than saying, man, I really fucked up and I need to change my ways. Just like New Year's, you see all these bullshit New Year's resolutions. Everybody's going to go change their lifestyle January 1st. Everyone's going to get a gym membership. Everyone's going to start eating healthy. Everyone's going to start trying to do good habits come New Year's Day. It doesn't work like that. You can't just all of a sudden, for the most people anyway, you can't just all of a sudden that you're going to change your entire lifestyle and do everything differently. We're not created that way. It requires work. It requires challenging your thoughts. It might be easy for a week or two because it's brand new and it's fresh. But once the gym is no longer exciting, once you're like, it's not exciting to go to the gym every day because I have to wake up and I have to eat right and I have to, decide what I'm going to do the night before, what I'm going to eat. Am I going to go out drinking the night before? You have to start changing your lifestyle for these things to take root. Creating a new habit does not happen overnight. So when you hear all of these people talk about New Year's resolutions, those are the people you want to avoid. Because if you're out there right now and you got some New Year's resolution, don't tell anybody about it. Because you just sound like an asshole. Really, you do. If you're talking about your New Year's resolution, you sound like an asshole. Maybe everyone's not telling you that, but it's because people do not like confrontation. They do not like to make anybody feel uncomfortable because it makes them feel uncomfortable. But please, don't come to me with your New Year's resolution. Expect me to give you a high five for that. Now, if you've got a New Year's resolution, that's fantastic. Put it into place. Once we see it working and we see some history built and we see some repetition and we see some structure and that it's a repetitive thing, then you can come and say, hey, I changed what I was doing. No one's going to believe you until it's done. Words are words. Action is action. Your audio and your video need to match. What's going on, Mark? Thanks, bud. Hey, today was a rough day. I got up at, we joined a new gym. It's not a New Year's resolution. We've just been wanting to join a new gym, and it's literally right there on the other side of the street, so there's no excuse not to go. It's a little more expensive than the typical gym. We spend $105 each, so we're spending $210 a month to go to the gym, but this is a legit gym. This is a gym that provides structured classes. Not just your cardio classes like a spin class, which is nothing wrong with that, but these are like great structured, organized circuit training classes with instructors that are making sure your form is proper. And it's the closest type of workout I have found since going to prison that gives me that high that I'm chasing when you go to the gym. I did tweak my back a little bit today because I have taken some time off and I allowed myself to get out of a little bit of shape. And my mind says, no, you can do it. Go push, push, push. And I pushed myself a little too hard the last few days and definitely felt it in my back. So I'm pretty sore right now, but that's okay. But we're still going to be here and we're still going to talk. We're going to wrap this up in a minute here, but I really want to thank all of you. We've got over 30 bands are already spoken for. We only spoke about them once here on YouTube. Those of you that have reached out, wanted the bands, it's very, very cool of you guys. Some of you donated, some of you didn't. And like I said, donations are not required. We want everybody to be able to have the ability to use these bands for the same thing that I use them for. They go great with whatever you're going to wear, obviously, but also when you're having a rough day and you look down and you see that band, it needs to become a focal point of changing your mood, changing your thought process, and not allowing yourself to dwell on negativity. That's what the bands do for me, and that's what I hope they will do for you. If anybody wants a band, I'll post it right here in the chat. Even though we've only got a couple of us in here today, everyone's getting ready for the holidays, I imagine. It's also in the description. Oops. Oh, did something wrong there. Hold on a second. Copy. So I know everyone's getting ready for New Year's. So here you go. It's in the description of the video as well. Get your RDAP Dan wristband. They are free. We even cover the shipping costs for you. There is a section on there where if you do want to donate, donations are awesome. And every donation that we receive goes to the inmates that we have on our list. There's several of them now that we have on our list that need help with either phones, need help with commissary, need help with hygiene products, some warm clothes, things like that. These are guys that are in prison already. That some of them were watching us on YouTube before. Some of them never met us. They found us after the fact. But we want to be able to give back and help people, especially during these holiday seasons, the cold seasons. So feel free to open up your wallet and donate. All you got to do is click on that link and it will take you through the process. And you'll get a cool little band in the process. The bands say, RDAP Dan, community is method. So yeah, it's a little vain. I had to put my name on there. But, you know, we're going to get some different bands made. We're actually going to be running some polls for what kind of bands you guys think we should put on them. Somebody else posted a really cool comment last week on what we should put on there. I forgot what it was now. But that's why we need to make a poll for you guys to be able to go vote on what's next. Also, if this channel has helped anybody out there, regardless whether you're a client or you're just a viewer, and this channel has helped you, please do me a solid favor. Take your cell phone and just record yourself telling me how this channel has helped you in your situation, whether you're going to prison, whether you're already out of prison, maybe you've got a loved one that's going to prison and this has helped you process and deal. We would love to hear from it. And we are going to be running a little contest. It's not starting yet, but you can go ahead and start submitting. We are going to pick one winner a month that submits a little video call-in. And we're going to send them a $100 gift card. Nothing crazy, but it's just to show thank you for taking the time. And for those of you that don't win, you know, we might still show your video on the channel and just tell us what this channel's done for you, how this community is method type of an attitude has reached to you and your family, and how it's maybe changed your thinking, and how you've seen change in your progress from maybe when you first started watching this channel from, you know, early or late 2016 to where we're getting ready to go into 2018. So journey back in your mind, and what do you see yourself doing differently now from what you were doing before? What progress have you made? I would love to hear about it in the form of a video so we can share that with other people that can relate. Also, if you're watching this channel, please, 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 in the description of the video, it says, where's it at here? It takes you a link to our YouTube channel. Facebook. It says, leave an awesome review. You can go to our Facebook page and leave us a review. Let us know how this channel, you don't have to be a client to do this. You don't have to be somebody that paid us money. You just got to be somebody that's taken the positives from what we're doing and trying to do here, and I'll post it in there in case you're on watching right now. I see there's a couple of you. So please, guys, go to my Facebook page, rate what you think we're worth. You can go 1 to 5 stars. You can give me 1 star if you want and tell me you hate my guts and I'm the worst things than sliced bread. Whatever you want to tell me, but I want to hear the feedback. We got to start sharing and getting this information out there a little bit more in 2018. So leave us an awesome review. Get your RDAP Dan wristband. They're completely free. Just click on the link in the description of the video. It's at the top of the description. Other than that, guys, I hope you all have a awesome, more importantly than awesome, I hope you have a safe New Year's. Don't do anything stupid. If you're going to go out and drink, have a great time, that's all great. You know, Uber, let me know. If you're struggling and you're out drunk somewhere and you can't get in, call me. I don't care where you're at. I'll send an Uber to wherever you're at in the country. I'll send an Uber. That's Dan's promise to you. If you get fucked up on this holiday and you don't have any money or someone stole your debit card, call Dan and I will send an Uber to pick you up. 509-434-4695, because we do not need any new clients over the weekend. So everybody be safe. I love every single one of you. Thank you for this amazing year in 2017. 2018 can only get better. If I have the time, I will post something on New Year's Day, which is Monday. Don't know what we got going on, but I will try to get on here and say hi for the new year. All right, guys, have an amazing weekend. Everybody, community is method. People helping people one day at a time. I love every single one of you, and I am out of here. Peace.